Hi guys, so today we'll be completing part whole models, and what that means is that basically we'll have a number which in this case is 624, as we can see in the red circle. So 624, 624, and we have three blue lines that are coming out of that circle that lead to these three yellow boxes here. So all we're going to be doing is taking the original 624 and just breaking that number down. So the first box we have here, we're going to be breaking it down into what the hundredth is. The second box, we're going to be breaking down what into the tenth is and what the one is for the last box. So all that basically means is that the number is 624. But we're going to focus on the 600 part. So what is the value of the first letter? And that is 600, because it starts with the 6 and it is 624. So we're focusing on what that 100 really is, which is 600. We're going to do the same thing for the second part. So we have 24. If we take off the 6 now, we're just left with 24. So we have 20 as the 10th number, because that is the 10th. So we have 20 in this box here, and then if we take the 2 off of that number now as well, we're just left with the 4. So we put a 4 in this box. So altogether, if we plus the 600 plus the 20 plus the 4, we have 624. So that's all we're going to be doing for these questions today, is just breaking those numbers down into the hundreds, tens, and the ones. Really straightforward and simple. So this second one here, we have 275 in the red. So what is the value of the first number? What is the value of that 2? And the answer is 200, because it is 275. So now we're going to look at the next number, which is 7, which is the value of the 10 that we need to find out. So that is 7. So 7 lots of 10, 7 times 10, which is 70. Now moving to the last box, we're looking for the last value, the 1. So we have 5. So all we're going to do is 5 times 1, which gives us 5, right? Just 5 on the end, nice and simple. Moving on to the next question, we have 128 in the red box here. And remember, we're going to work out the hundredths, tenths, and the ones. So another way of doing this, as I just done in the previous one, so we have 100, right? 100, number 1 in the first box. So all we're going to do is 1 times 100, because 1 is the first number. 1 times 100 is 100, of course. And the second number is a 2, so we're going to do 2 times 10, which gives us the answer of 20, 2 lots of 10, 10, 20. And then finally we have 8. So if you put the 8 next to the 1 and we add them together, or times them together, sorry, of 8 lots of 1, so which is 8. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing for 724. So if we write 100 here, we have 7 as the first value, so let's cross that off. 100 times 7, and that is 700. So 100 times 7 is 700. Moving on to the next number, we have a number 4, and remember, this box is worth 10. So if we just go 4 times 10, that gives us 40 as this answer. And remember, this last box is number 1, and what's the last number? Number 2. So 1 times 2, which just gives us the answer of 2. Now if we add these together to double check, 700 plus 40 plus 2 gives us 742. So we're just breaking those down. We have 2 more to do here. So the first one, 923. So again, 100 times 9 is the first number, gives us 900. And the second one, we have a 2 in there, so 2 times 10, which gives us 20, because we can go 10, 20, that's 2 lots of 10. And finally 3, so 3 times the value of 1 for our last box is 3. 1, 2, and 3. Very nice, very simple. The next one, 245, so remember 100 in this box, times 2 gives us 200 for the value of our 100th. If we cross that off and go to the next one, we have 10 as the value, and then we have 4 lots of 10, so that gives us 40 for that answer. And then finally we have 5, so 5 times our value of 1 gives us 5 in the last box. And again, we can check these just by adding all these boxes together. So 200 plus 40, 240, 240 plus 5 gives us 245, so we know that that is correct. Moving on to the final questions. Now these ones are a little bit harder, just because this value, the first one is obviously over 1000. And I know it may look a little bit confusing because it's 1111, but it's the same thing, just works for any number that's in these boxes. So we're going to break it down into the thousands number this time. So obviously for this box we have the 100, this box we have the 10, and this box we have the 1, but this time we just have an 1000 in the first box. So if we cross off that first number there and we just do 1000 times 1, what do we get? 1000. That's correct. 1000 goes in that box there. And then the next number is again a 1, so we just do 100 times 1, which gives us 100. And the next number we have 1, so we just do 10 times 1, which gives us the answer of 10. And finally we have 1 times 1, which is our value, which just gives us 1. So again, we check these just by adding them together. So 1000 plus 100 is 1100, plus 10 is 1110, plus 1 is 1111. It's really nice and simple when we break it down this way. And finally, we just have 101. So it's just going back to the original way of just having 100 as the first value, 10 as the second value, and 1 as the last value. So 100 times our first number there, which is 1, gives us the answer of 100 for that box. And now we have a 0 in this next box. So we just do 10 times 0, which gives us the answer of 0. Anything times 0 is 0. And then finally we have 1 in that box, so 1 times 1 gives us 1. So if we add these together again, just to double check, 100 plus nothing is nothing, plus 1 is 101. It's nice and simple.